developed in the university, Dawa Finder, which improves access to healthcare system, and also the other furthermore, several grants won by those innovators in the field and give practical solution for the real problem of the society. And this example clearly shows how innovation in responding to the real world challenge at Jimma University Innovation Incubation Center. So our efforts are aligned with the national priorities, which emphasizes development should be led by innovative, and this development should be used technology transfers and strong university-industry linkage, which improves the skill of the students, the skill of the staffs to respond to those challenges. As our university is responsible to contribute for the economic growth, job creation, and sustainable development through research and innovation. However, if we see, innovation does not stand alone. It cannot be done in isolation. It requires collaboration, shared vision, and strong partnerships. That's why we are here today to discuss an important issues related to technology transfer and innovation. Before I conclude this, I would like to thank those organizers who are working day and night for their dedication, also the speakers and the presenter making their time to present for you their innovation and activities. All your effort has been appreciated, essential for this particular session and gathering. I also try to encourage you to participate actively, share your idea, and explore new collaboration within the room and outside. So with this discussion, we think that the seeds for future innovation will be the startup will be developed, and solution will be sought. As we move forward, let us continue building a university that's not only a center for learning, but also a true hub of innovation and drives of development, where ideas move beyond publication into real-world transformation. With this remark, I would like to say honorably, this day is officially opened. I wish productive discussion and inspiration event for all of you, and to have a fruitful discussion until the end of this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Mulumbabit, for the welcoming and opening remarks. Now we have two different presentations by Dr. Nagajibat, and Dr. Nagajibat will briefly introduce the presenters. Dr. Naga, please.
Thank you, Salim. I think we have 4 presentations, not 2, before the tea break that I'm going to facilitate. This minor correction. So I will briefly introduce the presenters, the 4 presenters at a time, and then each of them will have 30 minutes to make their presentations. I hope all of them can easily manage their time, because the allocated time is enough. So the first presenter will be Dr. Tafarra Mekonnen, Jimma University Industry Linkage and Technology Transfer Office Director. So I will briefly introduce him. Dr. Tafarra received his BSc Engineering in Engineering from Adama Science and Technology and MSc in Power Systems Engineering from Bahar Dar University, and his PhD in Power System Engineering from a university in Germany, because I couldn't pronounce the name of the university correctly. He has been serving at Jimma University at different levels as teacher, researcher, and also working in different offices, including as coordinator at the dean level and also director. He has been working on publishing a lot of papers, about 30 articles in reputable international journals. Currently, he is running a number of national and international grants and working as a director for the Office of University Industry Linkage and Technology Transfer. Next to that, we will have another presentation. Dr. Tafarra will present on HETRIL directives, which stands for Higher Education, Technical Research, Institution, and Industry Linkage, which reads as facilitating technology transfer and institutional partnership for sustainable development. Next to that will be a presentation by Shawangizau Aganyo, which reads as highlighting HETRIL JU efforts, achievements, and challenges and strategic direction. So next again, I will briefly introduce him. Mr. Shawangizau Aganyo is the Director of University Industry Linkage and Technology Transfer at Jimma Institute of Technology, a lecturer in the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and a researcher in sustainable energy. He has led and coordinated numerous technology transfer and collaborative projects, including its soil project, which was funded by 1.2 million, the development of national productivity norms for construction, and the fabrication of improved biomass cook stoves. He is also currently organizing the international conference on circular economy, renewable energy, and green hydrogen in Africa, in collaboration with Rostock University, which is going to be held on 27 to 29 October 2026. His work bridges academia, industry, and community development. The next presenter will be Dr. Disasa Yadeta, who is industry minister expert, who is going to talk on from research to market, aligning higher education innovation with Ethiopian industry needs. So I will also briefly introduce Dr. Disasa Yadeta. He is a material scientist, innovator, and industrial research leader with over 15 years of experience in chemistry, advanced material and technology commercialization. He holds a PhD in chemistry from Tianjin University, where he was recognized as the highest ranked international PhD researcher for his outstanding contributions to organic persistent luminous materials. Currently serving as a researcher and a technology development executive officer at the Manufacturing Industry Development Institute. Dr. Disasa leads national research initiatives focused on sustainable industry, innovation, and import substitution. Very remarkable achievement here. Dr. Disasa is the inventor of 6 patented technologies. The next presenter will be Mr. Jamil Mukhtar, is serving as Ethiopian Intellectual Property Authority expert The title of his presentation will be Intellectual Property Protection and the Patent Systems in Ethiopia. Mr. Jamil Mukhtar is a patent examiner in APA. APA is Ethiopian Intellectual Property Authority expert, specializing in electrical and computer engineering, as well as energy technologies. He holds a master's degree in nuclear engineering from Tsinghua University, China, and a BSc in electrical engineering. Thank you, all presenters. So I will invite one after the other. Now, Dr. Tafara is on stage, so please try to finalize your presentation. I think this holds for all presenters, because yesterday we were a bit challenging with managing the time, but today for each presenter 30 minutes are allocated, which is much enough. So please continue with your presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Naga. I think the moderator, which is standing in front of me, ordered me to present by sitting, but from my experience, I don't have any chance to present by sitting. Anyways, for the time being, I will try to address each point that I wanted to present for you properly by sitting in front of you. Most of you allowed me to present my presentation by sitting. As already highlighted by moderator, the point that I wanted to address for you is already as a topic highlighted. But before highlighting my presentation, as a moderator and leader of this University Industry Linkage and the Technology Transfer Office, I wanted to explain something about the objective of today's event. Now, our today event, as from the topic indicated, that from research to impact, how research brings impact, through what mechanisms that you can bring impact from higher education research. The best option in order to bring our research into impact is with the strong university industry linkage. So one of the best options, which is investigated by different economists and entrepreneurs, which is found throughout the globe. So depending on this theme, in order to address the basic point, which is addressed in my presentation, to create some mind model in your mind, I wanted to address this 4 objectives from the overall our discussion session. Initially, the initial objective of today's session is because so many researchers, early career researchers, some industry experts, which is found nearby Jimma, is already invited. They are with us. So in order to include our presentation, all these participants that are found out here, the objective of our today session should be with a small description I will try to address. The first objective of our today event is to enhance the awareness for the innovator, the role of UIL as a country development, locally as well as nationally, as well as globally. The main contribution of UIL for economic development, we will see the main finding, which is obtained from higher education, from research institutes, from different institution output is highlighted on behalf of Ministry of Education. Investigative task is presented as a first objective to address the innovator more aware. The second objective of our today's session is to highlight the 6 healthcare pillars which is currently exercised in higher education. I think there are a lot of researchers from JUS available. I am seeing in front of me from my audience. I hope this term is, whether it's abbreviation or full word, it creates a little ambiguity. So this healthcare pillar, according to the direction which is forwarded from Ministry of Education, It is our main agenda in higher education in order to correlate our academic teaching learning activity with research activity, to correlate that one. This is the main agenda currently. The Ministry of Education and Higher Education is working closely together in order to put on the ground these pillars. So we'll highlight these pillars for our participants. The other objective that is addressed by other presenters is identifying the main challenge and opportunity of innovation related with TTs highlighted properly. And finally, in order to bring the research output into the final stage, the research life cycle should be assessed. The research cycle, most of the time from higher education, as all of you know that, we know, since we are a researcher, and so many senior researchers also available, most of the time, it's not only in our country, in most developing countries, the research life cycle is ended in publication. So, for the sake of sustainable country economic development, this trend should be properly amended or enhanced by enhancing the research life cycle into commercialization and transferring the research life cycle into the community through technology transfer for the sake of sustainable economic development. Most of the evidence which is investigated related with this is shown that evidence. So that's why we are focusing this patent system as one part of our training in today's session. Overall content, I will focus my presentation in the first session, overview of the university industry linkage for the sustainable development and highlighting the Health Rail Directive for innovators is my first session. And the second session will be presented by my colleagues related with this Health Rail Directive, which is stated by Ministry of Education, what the progress, the effort and the achievement of Jimma University seems like. This could be presented by my colleagues, as already mentioned. And after seeing the progress of Jimma University, which achieved, we will see about how we can convert the research output into market, will be presented. And in session 3, how we can protect this innovation before addressing or before bringing into market will be highlighted. Finally, in order to create a business from our research, in order to create an impact, our research should be properly protected. The trend, how we can protect our research, what are the current experience in Ethiopia looks like, should be presented. And we will wind up with this presentation. But before, as already tried to mention before, the afternoon session, we will wind our presentation with detailed discussion. So this is the main content of my presentation. I will go through directly with my presentation. As I already tried to mention as an introduction before saying something, what is innovation and the technology transfer? In the current era, why higher education needs to improve beyond research publication toward innovation and the technology transfer in today's global market? What is the impact of innovation and the technology transfer in global market? Why the innovator, the researchers which is found in higher education in different research institutes is trying to go further above publication? Please, something, I think, I'm sure something is resonating in your mind when this question is raised. Because as all of us know that the culture of research in higher education, when we see its life cycle, we will see our achievement with publication. But in order to penetrate in global market, we have to shift this attitude rather than publication into transferring the technology, creating revenues, the main life cycle of research, which is highly observed from the countries, those currently dominating the global market in the current era. Due to that reason, this health rail pillar is highly initiated, and we have to trace back our conventional research activity, which is conducted in higher education, to observe that one. This health rail is, that's why initiated. So I think when this question is raised in your mind, why higher education is currently highly exhaustively working in innovation and the technology transfer is when you see the experience of different global economy, as this expert Joseph Skyber, which is currently the dominant economist and entrepreneur in the globe, said that in today's world, where global competition determines the survival and the growth, innovation and the technology transfer is not longer an optional. They are must. Even in 2025, when you are see the most dominant global economy, when you are seeing, according to WIPO, World International Patent Organization research indicated that mostly the most dominant global economy is highly dominated due to the reason of innovation and the technology transfer. They are adapting innovation and the technology transfer within their higher education properly, and they are with proper guidelines, they are commercializing that one, and starting from the higher education, they are commercializing with proper channel. If you see currently the global market is, we'll see later, evaluated by different constraint. In fact, in 2025, why China is currently competent with US before 5 years or something, 6 years, China is far apart from USA in terms of global economy. But they are strictly working on innovation and the technology transfer by commercializing their research, and they already totally changed their higher education research culture totally from the conventional research into innovation and the technology transfer modality. Then, within a short period of time, they are currently approaching USA in terms of their global economy. That is the current scientific research evidence that shows innovation and technology transfer is the most vital in a global economy. So if it is technology transfer and innovation is the most determinant factor in global economy, I think all of us need to become a global competent. Individually, as an institute, as a country, as continent also. So what shall you do? In which procedure that you can go in order to be globally competent? That is the question that should be resonating in our mind. You should have to something click in your mind. When you see, in general, the global competitiveness comes from the competitive process plus competitive asset. When you see the global competitiveness, you should have to dominate the market share, profit, growth, and the sustainability is the main dominant factor, which is considered as a global competitiveness that makes you globally competent. And when you see the competitive process, your innovation, which is obtained from your research, should have its quality, and with the speed of penetration in the market should be needed. Customization and the service quality is the other factor. And infrastructure, finance, technology, and the people is the global asset, which any country, any research institution, any higher education has in hand. This is the global competitive asset. Please take this in your mind, because my next presentation is correlated with this global competitiveness. What are the main factors that makes us globally competitive? See, as a brainstorming, this is a simple world map, which is mapped with the latitude and the longitude. Have a look. Is it visible? You are seeing different country which is found in this globe. Okay? But I'm true? This is the natural resource and the mineral which is currently distributed throughout the globe. That mineral is properly distributed through the globe. If you see USA, South America, Europe, Africa, those minerals is properly distributed, as you see. Okay, it's good, it's feasible. Okay, do you know Africa true size is almost 30.37 million square kilometers, our Africa true size, as all of us know that. What this means is Africa is larger than USA, China, India, and most of Europe. I think all of you know this. Am I right or wrong? That's right. Okay. So what is the global assets that we have? So if you see the population-based world map, in order to see the competitive advantage through the globe, as you see that in terms of population, you see almost our continent is very visible on the global map. Asia is highly visible on the global map. North America and South America is a little bit visible on the global map. That's good. Okay. Have a look. Africa population is highly greater than Europe, Russia, and North America. That's good. Let's see population-based world map in order to see the competitive advantage which is obtained from the globe. Have you looked at this map? You already seen the comparative global map, the competitive advantage that we had. The competitive advantage that we have is technology, infrastructure, people, in which competitive asset part currently we are now. You should have to ask yourself in order to convert the comparative advantage into competitive advantage for the sake of visualizing ourselves, our institute, our country in the map. You should have to identify which global competitive asset I have. Unless if you identified properly this, it's a little bit difficult to be visible on the map that I have shown for you. Okay, that's good. So, to truly determine, in order to be visible on this global map, competitive advantage, or in order to get competitive advantage, comparative advantage should be properly converted into competitive advantage through innovation and technology transfer. What are comparative advantage from the globe map that I have shown that we have in hand? You should have to ask yourself. There are a lot of comparative advantage we have in hand. Unless if you are not properly converted this comparative advantage into competitive advantage through innovation and the technology transfer, visualizing we are an individual as a country to bring in that global map is very difficult, as different economists and entrepreneurs investigated. Therefore, you should have to ask yourself, okay, how many of us, I create some idea that are clicking in your mind. How many of you know today's world leading company or technologies began their idea from higher education? Can you list for me? Because in order to be visible ourselves in the global map, every comparative advantage should be properly converted into competitive advantage. We as a higher education, there are research institutes also there. In our today discussions, different stakeholder industry task force also there. Therefore, maybe if you know about this, how many of you know currently the most dominant company or technology currently found, their initial business is started from higher education? How many of you know? Can you list for me? There are so many companies currently leading the world. They are controlling the market. Already they converted their comparative advantage into competitive advantage. Anyways, due to time constraint, I don't have time to give you to forward for me, but why I am raising this clicking point is in order to ask yourself where we are, in what manner that we can manage our research for the future. Okay, if you see, I think Google is initially started in Stanford University as a PhD research project. From his PhD research project, with his supervisor, he properly scale up from minimum viable, by observing the minimum viable product, he commercialized the Google currently throughout the globe, even though so many technology currently, AI, explainable AI, Gemini is emerging, but still its sustainability in the market dominance is still on the market. His ideation is started from higher education. All of you know that. For any searching engine, for any digital virtual platform, for any collaborative tools, it's updating himself currently, Google. The other idea which is started from higher education, if you see Facebook, they are starting undergraduate student which is found in Harvard University for the sake of addressing their message from dorm to dorm. They create this idea when they were in higher education. Currently, they already properly controlled the world. They already converted their ideation into market. Other technology which is started from higher educations. Microsoft is initially started from higher education in Harvard University as a student project. Currently, Microsoft updates its future from conventional writing for virtual communication, for our PC operating system, for different digital communication platform, by updating itself currently already controlling the market. The other technology which is a start from higher education, Dell computer, it's already started from higher education commercialization projects. So, as I already tried to mention, in order to become globally competent and to be visible on the map, innovation and the technology transfer should be properly managed in higher education with the collaboration industry. Unless otherwise, penetrating the market with research is very difficult, especially for developing countries. So we should have to trace back ourselves on the culture of our research currently that we are working, where the life cycle of our research is found. We should have to ask ourselves, okay, how do such higher education became global innovative? እንዴት ግሎባሊ ኮምፒታንት ሆኑ? እነዚህ ኢኖቬቲቮች ሪላቲቭሊ ኮምፔር ስናደርጋቸው ግሎባሊ እንዴት ፔኔትሬት ያደርገው ገቡ ከሃየር ኤዱኬሽን? As I have already tried, Google, Facebook, Dell, every digital platform currently utilizing is started their idea from higher education. How they are penetrating the market in higher education? What situation is properly arranged for them during they started their ideation in higher education? What platform was there? Because of, as different evidence showed that most of the higher education follows open door policy with the industry. They are fenceless. I think most of you who are attending this presentation, you had an experience to observe higher education found abroad. As you see, most of them they are fenceless, they are open. In fact, I'm not ordering to be open our university. There are so many its own constraints that we cannot make just like that. but they are following open door policy. Every innovators, every researchers can enter properly. The other thing is they have a strong university industry linkage. They follow triple helix policy. Higher educations, government, and industries properly working collaboratively. They have science park. Their car park is very minimum when compared with their science park. That is the main reason why that global competent companies currently dominating the current global market. Depending on this, when you bring this initiative, international global initiative, currently Ministry of Education already drafted, customized his higher education industry linkage culture by creating 6 heteral directive, which is properly attaching higher education researcher with industry. That's why I wanted to present these 6 heterals, which is currently exercising in our higher education, in our university also. So these pillars are a common agenda currently for higher education. Can you mention these 6 heteral pillars? Most of you that you are found out here, can you mention me these 6 heteral pillars currently that you are exercising in our university? That is today's briefing and discussion is needed due to that one, to highlight that 6 heteral directive currently that we are working on in order to create an awareness for our researchers and the nearby industries, those who are come from industry. This third pillar is joint applied research, innovation and the technology transfer, consultancy, cooperative training, internship is the main 6 heteral pillar which is currently stated and currently we are following in order to commercialize our research. This is already approved by people of representative. As you already said that, the directive is also approved as a country. So previously, most of the research which is done related with innovation and technology transfer, even they don't have any dedicated budget. By observing that one, currently the Ministry of Education already brings high attention for these directives and how many of us we are following our research in order to create an impact with these heteral pillars. Joint applied research is by its nature, it's exercised in higher education for the benefit of 2 companies, for higher education as well as for industries, through mutual common resource sharing. The higher education properly share what he has, intellectual resource, material resource, and the industry is properly sharing the finance, the problem which is found in industry is properly shared by mutual understanding in order to solve the problem which is found in the industry. The second one is innovation and the technology transfer. For the sake of this technology, currently the innovators, especially the early career researchers, the main things that should have to know based on the culture of our university also in the future in order to amend your research modality to bring an impact, you should have to follow which innovation is more important for my technology transfer. Is it incremental innovation? Is it radical? Is it disruptive innovation? If in which innovation, if I engaged, is more productive, you should have to ask yourself. So related with this, innovation ecosystem is very important for the sake of innovating and transferring the technology, especially in higher education for industry. What are the main innovation ecosystem? The finance sector, private sector, national development, partner government, and the finance sector should be properly working by synchronizing themselves.
You are done with your time.
5.
I will add you only 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to finalize, but my time is already given 40, but you're restricting me 30. I try to finalize. Related with this, business incubation is the main thing which is needed from higher educations. Related with this directive, by following this innovation working platform, from early inception out to post-incubation process should be properly established in higher education. This is the culture currently that we are experiencing in our university. Maybe my next colleagues will go through it in detail. Through these incubations, if the idea is properly, if it's not properly addressed to the industry, its impact is not properly visible. And in order to be visible ourselves in the global map, if it is not properly transferred to the industry, it's very difficult. So the technology transfer offices work on this manner to transfer the technology which is incubated, those ideas which raised in the final stage of a startup. The other thing is consultancy should be properly going as a third heteral pillar that we are currently going on. I think this is the total consultancy budget currently exercising in Ethiopia. The fourth pillar that we are currently working in heteral is cooperative training. Cooperative training is the best way interlinking higher education and industry. What are the needs of industry? What are the capacity of higher educations related with this field gap from the industry that are with mutual understanding, they are shaping in that manner. And also the Ministry of Education already puts as a directive, and also we are working on this. The fifth one is internship. Most of us, we know that internship, but the culture which is previously followed for internship is a little bit weak. What currently amended related with internship as a country is the follow-up process, the insurance, the benefit, the way evaluation is properly amended. This is the evidence how those students who took their time in internship by what evaluation, a little modification is already amended with internship. Finally, the third pillar is externship program. For the sake of properly strengthening the link between industry and higher education in order to share the industry experience related with the skill, knowledge, attitude to the higher educations, this program is highly emphasized by Ministry of Education, and currently most of higher education is working on it. Related with this, Jimma University is what's currently working. My colleague will highlight about the externship that we are currently practicing in order to strengthen our collaboration with the industry. In order to strengthen these pillars, this is the revised national linkage structures, which is structured by Ministry of Education, which is led by National Linkage Secretariat Office, which leads by Ministry of Education. The most dominant industry like Ethio Telecom, Ethiopian Airlines, Ethiopian Electric Power, Ethiopian Electric Utility is the advisory board of this revised structure. Currently, they are working strongly on it in order to create the innovation ecosystem to strengthen the link between private sector, research institute, higher education, and industry. That is the initiative which is currently exercised by higher education. And the industry is also categorized in these 6 industry forums: Agriculture Industry Linkage Forum, ICT, and finally, Finance and Industry Linkage Forum is the one forum in order to collect those industry which is found segregatively in the country as a forum. They already compile it for the sake of revising their linkage with higher educations. And also in the revised structure, regional linkage structure is already established. 6 regional linkage structure currently. Before 2 months, actually, there were 4. Currently, 6 regional linkage coordinator office is there. One of regional coordinator linkage offices, Jimma University, which is coordinating 8 universities which is found in the southern part, starting from Gambella, Asosa, up to Mizan and the Bonga University is organized by Jimma University for the sake of proper resource sharing, intellectual sharing, and properly implementing these head-rail pillars. And as a final initiative, for the sake of strengthening the higher educations with industry, currently Ministry of Education with the collaboration of Jimma University expert, in order to easily access the resource which is found in higher educations, in order to properly observe the needs from the industry, a digital platform which is industry map system is developed by the Ministry of Education before 6 months. By observing this industry mapping digital platform, because every researcher can easily access the resource found in each region. This resource map is already done by Ministry of Education. Based on this map, Jimma University as a coordinating university for this head-rail pillar in the Western region, those industries which is currently found in the Western region, almost as a region, 380 industries already mapped in this head-rail map. Currently, we are working on that one. As a conclusion from my presentation, what I wanted to conclude from my presentation is demand-driven innovation and the technology transfer project address the real challenge should be expected from innovators, depending on the directive which is currently placed by Ministry of Education and which is currently working as a higher education. If you change our mentality to propose our demand-driven innovation, a little bit the door and the initiative is a little bit good. So every innovator should be bend his attention, demand-driven innovation and ITT project based. Developing a joint proposal is highly initiated, which is investigated between higher education and research institute with mutual collaboration, with mutual resource sharing. And the strengthening incubation center to support university-born startup is highly expected from higher educations. I think due to time constraint, the facilitator is urging to finalize. Thank you very much for your patience and listening to me.
Thank you, Dr. Tafarra, for giving us the general framework of the point of discussion for today. Actually, 40 minutes is allocated for his presentation, and I was trying to save some minutes. I think I succeeded saving 3 or 4 minutes from him. Hopefully the next presenter or presenters will save some minutes, because Shwangzau's I think is an extension from the same presentation. So please come to the stage, and I will beg you to save us some 10 minutes at least, finishing in 20 minutes. Thank you, Dr. Tafarra.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I will directly go to my presentation and try to save some time. So my presentation is somehow an extension of Dr. Tafarra's presentation, and through my presentation, I will try to show what Jimma University have already tried to achieve by putting some efforts in implementing the head-rail directives in its activities. So my presentation will have these contents, and the contents merely directly related to the 6 pillars of the head-rail directive. So the first directive is joint and applied research. So how Jimma University is applying this joint applied research universities. I will try to show you some examples and evidences. And the other one is the innovation and technology transfer activities or implementations through head-rail. and how consultancies are going on in Jimma University and cooperative training. And cooperative training is mainly for TVET and vocational training. So cooperative training is an internship of TVET training and also internship and externship. So having said this, in the joint applied implementation of joint applied project, Jimma University have so many joint applied projects, but the one, since I am the last minute edition, if you have seen the posters for this event, I am not there. So I am the last edition of this event. So I have a short time of preparation. So most of my presentation is from GIT, but I need you to consider that it's not only limited to this presentation. The joint applied researches and projects implemented in Jimma University way more beyond what I am presenting at this point. So this is one of the biggest joint applied project and research in Jimma University, since Jimma Institute of Technology is part of Jimma University. It's a 200 meter cube biogas plant, which have a capacity of generating minimum of 200 meter cube of biogas per day, and which generates energy. And through this project also, there is established a state-of-the-art biogas laboratory, which can be used from up to highest level research and training. And when we come to the second pillar, which is innovation, incubation, and technology transfer. So through another applied and collaborative project, we have managed to establish a very modern state-of-the-art innovation incubation center at JID, which is the property of Jimma University. So it looks like this, and this incubation center supports the implementation of technology transfer in a well-structured manner. Although there are so many projects transferred to the community through the University Industry Linkage and Technology Transfer Office before the establishment of the Innovation Incubation Center, but afterwards, after the establishment of the Innovation Incubation Center, the number of technologies developed and transferred grow up and also become more successful. And this innovation incubation workflow have this one. It has an entry or inception. And at this point, the technologies will be evaluated if they are innovative, if they are novel, and if they can be scalable, and the innovators have a very good team composition. Then they will be allowed to be incubated in the incubation center, and this incubation center trainings, technical support, business support, and they will be supported until at least they come up with the minimum viable product, and they will be given the opportunity to test their product, and they will be mentored, and finally an opportunity will be given for them to pitch their products to potential investors. So they will be graduated. They will have an exit strategy. They will be graduated after once they reached their target milestone, and it will not stop there. So the incubation center will further follow up their actions or their interventions after once even they become a startup, and the follow-up will continue. So what we were lacking previously was this part. So this is the innovation incubation activities. So through this innovation incubation center, so in 2024-2025 year, 12 innovative ideas have been supported in first phase, and out of them, 7 of them managed to get to the minimum viable product, out of which 4 startups have been developed, and other are already commercialized. So in the second phase, 15 innovations have been supported, and 9 startups converted to minimum viable product. The rest are still under the development stage. The next year, I mean, which is currently 20 innovation ideas are already in the incubation center. Then they are being supported with business. They are being supported to minimum viable product. They are being mentored and the like. So this previously we were not reporting in this manner before the innovation incubation center was established. So just to give you an example, Professor Mulumabit was talking about this product, the Bina Pad, so which is one of our startup and product innovation or technology transfer to the community, which we are proud of, and which is founded and established by our staff, and which is even managed to create a job for 10 women. And the other transfer technology, this one is also mentioned by Professor Mulu. And this product was started even way before the innovation incubation center was established. Still, company is formed, if I am not mistaken. The name of the company is Olio, and several products are being developed, and the poster presentation is there outside. You will see later. And even the government took the initiative to build a model house using this product, and the regional and federal government have their eyes on it. So there are further products which will have a greater impact in the community. Sometimes it even starts from our university itself. This stove is now under development and test, which is an institutional cook stove, which generates char while it is cooking. And this research project and product development is supported by ETA Soil. And now the product is under development. The first prototype is made, tested, and the optimization is underway. And in a few months' time, we will have another innovative product that will emanate from Jimma University. And another project, which is funded by Jimma University through Technology Transfer Project, is this one. Multifunctional chaff machine. I think the innovator of this product already submitted a request for, I think, utility model patent to Intellectual Property Office. And the previous product was also, the patenting is in progress. And along with this particular project, there are other 3 projects which their posters are displayed outside, which is funded by Jimma University Technology Transfer Project grant. So coming to the consultancy, which is the other pillar of HETRIL. So through this consultancy service, Jimma University manage, particularly mainly at JIT, some of them are also in main campus. These 5 consultancy works have been conducted in collaboration with the companies, like development of Ethiopian Water and Energy Code and Standard. It's ongoing National Harmonized Code for Ethiopian Construction Authority. I think this one is concluded. Construction needs assessment and Oromia regional, in Oromia regional state, like assessment of infrastructure gaps, road, bridge, buildings, and so on, and preparation of SBD for designated building procurement in Ethiopia. This one is also concluded and submitted. And baseline survey on occupational safety and health in Ethiopian construction. And the other ongoing project is also preparation of national productivity norm for water sector construction. And this productivity norm for building sector construction have already been concluded and submitted to Construction Management Institute 2 years back. So I did not report it here, it's already old. We consider it old. So the other consultancy service that we, as Jimma University and Jimma JIT provided is skill capacity development training for 995, which 97% of is women for Ethiopian Electric Utility. in order to capacitate and support them to come into leadership position in Ethiopian Electric Utility. So in their engineering capacity, building training have been provided to Ethiopian Electric Utility. So when it comes to internship and externship, I skipped the cooperative training, just like I said earlier, cooperative training in HETRIL, one of the entity is technical and vocational training. So cooperative training is the internship provision of the TVET and technical polytechnic college. So even though the physical mentoring which we have been conducting in the previous years in JIT were difficult based on different circumstances on the HETRI directives, then all students engaged on the internship as per the curriculum. So in Jimma Institute of Technology, all programs have an internship program which students go out for on-job training in different host industries. So every single student will go out for internship in the first semester. Electrical, biomedical, and material science students will go out for internship for a minimum of 3 months and up to 4 months. In the second semester, civil, mechanical, chemical, software engineering, water resource, and hydraulic and water resource engineering, and waste water supply and environmental engineering. In the summer program, architecture, IT, IS, and computer science program students will go out for internship as part of the mandatory requirement in their curriculum. And also one of the oldest internship program is the health internship program. So we can say that more than 99% of the students are engaged on the mandatory internship program, which is part of the curriculum. When it comes to the externship program differs from the internship. It is the staffs who will go to the industry to have some observations, do assessment, study, and familiarize themselves with the real world industry practice, and also the industry experts and different institutional organization experts come to the university. So with this regard, a total of 36 academic staff from all colleges and institutes have already been identified and are ready to be launched in the coming May. So after the HETRIL directive, proclamation in directive is endorsed by House of People's Representative, this is for the first time that we are going to have the externship program. And from the industry, in the past years, around 27 industry experts have visited our university, delivered seminars, provide training, and have a talk with our staffs and students. So this is one of the examples that industry experts come to the university and provide a training for the staffs and postgraduate students. So having having said this, let's talk about the limitations or the challenges that we are facing in order to implement the HETRIL directive. So one of the limitation is limited funds or budget from Ministry of Education and also JU in order to implement the HETRIL directives. Maybe in the coming years it will be fine, since the HETRIL already have a proclamation in a directive, then a dedicated budget line, and a budget will be assigned and appointed for these activities. Then we will see that in the coming year. Then weak commercialization culture of the innovators. So it's obvious that bringing your products to the market is a little bit or even a more challenging journey. Then most of the innovators do not engage in that challenge and rather leave their innovations anywhere. And low industry interest to transfer the technology. That's also one of the challenges, because most of the industries do not rely or do not find the university innovations reliable to implement in their industries to solve their problems. Then that needs to be broken, and the industries need to come to the university approach them and work together through joint applied research projects so that their problems will be solved. The other one is intellectual property awareness limitation of the innovators. Yeah, that I think people from the intellectual property office is here. Some of the innovators in this audience, sometimes the patenting and intellectual property right of the obtaining is challenging and taking too long. There is a long queue of applications in the IP office, and that is frustrating. Like an innovator who goes for intellectual property for the first time and took him 2 3 years, even if he or she came up with another innovation, they are not intending to go to another IP because of the frustration. So this is other one, and this one will be adjusted by awareness, which we are going to get this afternoon. The other one is poor communication between UIL office and other institute or college offices. That's also one, unless the UIL office goes to the institute, college, and faculties to collect the innovations that are created by the students in their final year project, in their mini project, in their master's thesis. So there is a poor trend of communicating these innovative ideas to the UIL office, which have a mandate to communicate it with IP, patenting, and providing support for further development. And there is also lack of interest in bringing those innovative ideas, unless and otherwise the innovators are coming by themselves to bring them to innovation and incubation centers. The other one is weak follow-up and on startup and commercialization. Then the new guideline and the workflow of the innovation incubation center will solve that problem, because as a procedure, there will be a follow-up after an innovation is graduated or exited the incubation center. So what are the strategic directions related to HETRIL? The other one is allocating dedicated budget or fund for the UIL MTT activities, which was not the case previously until this moment. Okay, thank you. And bringing industry on board to the higher education through industry mapping. The industry mapping have already been conducted. Then since the industries are already known, then according to their relevance, they will be approached to be engaged with the university and strengthening startup ecosystem. One of the tool that strengthens the startup ecosystem is having a functional innovation incubation center, which we already have, and we will keep on working on that one. And intellectual property protection enhancement. Yes, I think that one needs to be discussed with intellectual property office. Sometimes some innovators have a fear of their ideas being stolen. That is what the first reason that they are not going to go for IP. And strengthening national and international partnership. That's the strategy to strengthen the UIL. The opportunities we have also to effectively implement HETRIL is positive support from the government. And the government is planning to have a tax exemption, some sort of incentives for the industries who are going to be engaged in the HETRIL activities. And they are also even planning to support to import some duty-free imports and so on. Then the existence of Ministry of Education, Ministry of Innovation and Technology, and Ministry of Labor and Skills. This will be a supplement to this initiative, and opportunities of partnership with various institutions and keen interest of the development partners. There are several development partners who are willing to engage in the HETRIL activities with the universities, and existence of co-innovation grants. So there are several ministry offices, malls, Mint, UNDP, like HARI. There are so many institutions who have an innovation grant for product development. So this is the opportunities. And in conclusion, everybody knows that now Jimma University is heading for autonomy. So in order to be autonomous, then we need to definitely have to be an entrepreneurial university. Then to be an entrepreneurial university, we need to have our own brand, product. Maybe we do not need to establish an industry or factory and start producing, but we can, if we can come up with an innovative idea and we have an IP and patent for it, then we can license and look for investors to invest on it, and we can get reality from that one, that is an income. And to be the perennial university, then the very basic need we need to have is an innovation ecosystem. So by strengthening the Innovation Incubation Center, then we can achieve this one. Therefore, I will call upon all innovators in here to come and join us, Jimma University, and innovate and help us achieve our target of becoming autonomous and entrepreneurial university. And thank you.
Thank you. As he promised, he saved 10 minutes. A bit? Okay, so again, we are under pressure to make some adjustments because of actually today is because of the late start. We were late when it started, so then we leave for the break, and at the same time we will visit the showcases, the posters around there while having the coffee tea break, and then we will come back and we'll continue with the next presenters. But again, I should tell you that we cannot have more than 20 minutes for each presentation. So please try to adjust yourself. 20 minutes for each presenter. What? 20 minutes. The time allocated for the tea break was 30 minutes again. Let's make it in 20 minutes, and even if possible in 15 minutes. But at the same time, don't forget to go around the presentations there. Thank you very much.